I know after you left, all the little kiddos were like running around and like made the whole floor their dance floor, and all the adults were standing back watching Elimination Chamber on the TV. So I was like, you know what? This is the appropriate use of a dance floor at our wedding. Did the air conditioning just turn off?
It shuts off when it's it's designed to be in a certain temperature.
Oh, is that what it is?
Normally,
is that how air conditioners work?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah.
So anyway, now lots to talk about. Super excited. We have the couple. I don't get to have you guys I don't think I've ever had you guys in a setting together.
No, not together. No, we did like she came and we did an episode. Like we were together in the environment, but
not sitting,
not together on a couch.
So we have to recap then. Quite a bit has happened since we had you on. Yeah, and you guys are married. Congratulations! Yeah. Yay!
Woo! Officially attached.
So officially. A lot of time has passed since the conversation even started about you guys getting married, and it's been in the works for a while now.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
I'm so happy that everything is over in terms of planning and stuff mainly for Bree's sake.
You were super nervous about everything.
Yeah.
How did it go in your opinion?
Me?
Yeah.
I think it went well. I think it went great. I mean, I think Bree did more work than I've ever seen anyone do in their life to make it happen in like such a short period of time. So I'm like forever grateful, because it didn't feel like that. Like when we were there, it was so like, it was just good. You know, it was like so well put together that by the time we were like also worried about everything, I looked around and I think there was one point where I turned around and I seen like the dining room with all the plates and everything. And I was like, oh, I saw all the table settings and everything. I was like, oh, it's perfectly fine. I was like, it's better than what my brain was like panicking about. And when I saw that, I knew Bree would feel better about it too. So I was like, this is perfect.
I remember there was a point where everything was set up and you're like, okay, I think it's done. Yeah. I think it's done.
Yeah. I looked around and I was like, I think everything's done. And I was like, I still feel like I'm not done though.
No, I think
I'm missing something all the time though.
No, I remember you're like, it's set up. Okay, can we go now? And that's what happened. But I remember, Bree, you were a champ about everything. You were like, you put this here, you put this here, and everything was just getting set up, and you were coordinating stuff. And people were asking me to ask you where things go, because I was like, where is this going to go? Bree knows that. So I go out to you, you're like, go over here. And then we would just set things up. So how did it go for you?
Well, I don't know if like you guys even said, like, well, from starting, like, we've been planning for a while, but from the actual okay that like, hey, we should get this done because of family things, like it was only 2 months to get everything together. Yeah. So that's why like everything was kind of like, it felt like it was thrown together. There was definitely like things that I was like, hey, you're going to move this here, here, here. And I looked up and I was like, that's completely in the wrong. But I was like, it's my fault. It's okay. Like, I don't want to be mean, but like I did send some guys to do some things that like, I didn't want to be, like, they didn't know what they were doing. And then I mean, like, you guys set up, like, way too many backgrounds. And I was like, oh, yeah, we don't got that. And I remember looking at my dad and him just being like, what the fuck did you do? And I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. And everyone's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, because if I get upset, like, we're going to have the thing. So we just keep saying it's okay and just laughing about it. And everyone's like, oh, you're handling this very well. And I was like, yeah, my guy, like, I don't give a fuck. Or this needs to be done. We need today to be over with. Like, I love you so much. I'm so sorry. We needed that to be done.
Yeah. No, it was a long morning, to say the least. We what time did we start there? Do you remember?
Oh God.
We were there till 2.
Yeah, 2 p.m. I mean, we started early in the morning, but
right. But like the setting from beginning to end, when the U-Haul gets there with all the stuff.
Yeah, like I think like 2 p.m.
Yeah, to the time that everything got set up.
Yeah, and 2 to 11, I think.
Yeah.
So 2 till, I mean, really, till we actually had the party for like 4:30.
Yep.
You know, because we did the ceremony at 3:30, but there was still stuff that we were like, let's throw this last thing together before everybody shows up. So to clarify, we had like a tiny ceremony, and then we invited everybody to come to a party afterwards.
Which you guys filled that entire room.
Somehow. Yeah. I was like really that was what I was nervous about, was when we had the ceremony, and I was like, I mean, logically, it was the same amount of people we were thinking about, but we just didn't realize like the room to the people to that. And then when everybody showed up, we were like, oh, wow, like there's actually like a full house of people here.
Yep.
And nobody dances because nobody in our families danced. Like,
Well,
it was fun because the kids got to run around. I know after you left, all the little kiddos were like running around and like made the whole floor their dance floor, and all the adults were standing back watching Elimination Chamber on the TV. So I was like, you know what, this is the appropriate use of a dance floor at our wedding.
I don't know if you remember Omar, who had gotten married not that long ago. They had a WWE setting like where they come in with like the what is it, the tribal chief
Roman Reigns
theme song, and so they come out with a belt and all that, and like they get
acknowledge
that. And so it was really cool to see that that's growing in popularity, because a lot of people, you think that, you know, maybe they don't watch it anymore, they grow out of it, and it's really cool to see that you can still in adulthood kind of still have that kind of fun, you know, that because you bring it's the whole thing we've been talking about, where you kind of try to incorporate your childhood into adulthood, and that you can still have that fun as adults, and especially like you show that to your child that like, hey, we're having fun. You can have fun too. And I thought that was a really cool thing that you did, and that she's into it, you know?
Oh, dude, she loves it. She loves it. Almost to a fault. She's like attacking us, and we're like, is it the wrestling? But
yeah, and by she we mean Maddie, which is
our daughter.
She just run up and yell choke slam, and it's like,
yep. Sometimes you have to crossroads her. You got to pick her up and like, you know, like throw her around.
And that's the memory. Those are the memories I have as a kid with my older siblings. I got tossed around, and you learn all the moves. The choke slam, people's elbow. You know,
100%.
Caught a couple of those growing up.
Oh yeah, she runs up to us and is just like punch fight, and all of a sudden just starts hitting us. And it's funny because it's like the way that the WWE, you know, the like closed fist kind of like fake punches. Like it's, man, she's gonna be there. She's gonna get.
She has the energy. If she ever wants to do that. So.
Oh yeah, she'll be climbing up a ladder, grabbing that suitcase off. You know, in no time, money in the bank. You know, she's gonna have the spirit. So.
Well, Bree, for people who maybe are thinking about getting married and doing the whole planning, what did you learn from that experience where you're like, it would have helped if I knew this?
Don't plan it in 2 months. And also, don't, like, I feel really bad, but like on the low, I should have just done things and then not have waited for like Jake's okay. Because like, there's some things I was like, oh, I get it, it's like us together and we're supposed to, but like there were some things I waited. I was like, oh, I have to get the okay from Jake. Like I have to, no, just do it.
Yeah, because then you'd ask me and I'd be like, why are you even asking me?
By the time I waited, it was like either like not done or like I was like panicking, or I'd be like, well, I want to talk and make sure it's okay with everyone. And like, like I know it sounds bad, but everyone does say like, it's your wedding, just do it. And like I was always like, well, I feel bad, but.
And then you'd have to ask yourself, does Jake want anything to do with all of
things? Yeah.
Because there's many things. I was like, hey, is this okay? And then Jake's like, yeah. Then Jake, at the wedding, Jake's like, oh, I didn't know that you walked down to the Avengers theme song. I was like, you jerk. I literally asked you multiple times if this was okay.
Well, the part of it was, too, we talked about a lot of it like a year before it ended up like being like, okay, it's go time. So it was like, I think I like pre-approved a lot of stuff that you just check off on the list in your head. You're like, yeah, Jake knows that I said this. And I'm like, my brain is like, yeah, you remember what I ate for lunch yesterday? I mean, I'm like, there's some things where I'm like, I'll try, but like, it's more like the anticipation of the whole event for me that like, I just want to be in that moment. And like, cause like, don't get me wrong, like it was the best night of my life. It was incredible. And like, without anything that you did, like it wouldn't have happened. But like, I don't know. I just like, there are some things that like my brain just doesn't want to do when it comes to like, I guess it's like work applied to life. You know, and that's where it's like, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I could do that. And then like, I don't get it done for 2 weeks, and Bree's like, what the hell? What's going on? Well, I already did them. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then I'm like, oh man, like I messed up.
What do you think is the part that's hard for you to deal with it? Is it just the anxiety of like, it has to get done and I have a timeline?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I think it's also, there's so much going on in our house that like, I just like will be like, oh, I could do it, you know, next week, next day.
I get it.
Whatever.
So like it just gets put on another waiting list, and there's a bunch of things on the waiting list, and so now that has to get done. And just the thought of all the waiting lists you've created now is like,
I have like four apps that I keep track of stuff, and none of them are ever checked off. And like I'm trying, you know what I mean? It's hard to like have singularity in that concept, like where you get like everything done and you get everything, you know, whatever. But plus, you know, we do a lot with Maddie, and we take like a lot of our time to like just spend that with her because she's so young, and we want to like be there and be more present. So it's like hard. You know, I've heard other parents talk about like living out of laundry baskets and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but at a certain point, you just kind of like, you gotta like, you get tired of it. You know what I mean? Like you get tired of like just not doing more things. So I don't know. I think it's like just a process. She's also 3, so like we're kind of like wrapping our heads back around like real life. You know, as she grows, it's like. It's hard, but the time kind of slips away, and that can be hard, you know, that aspect of it. But
what is it like now? What does it look like for you? Because the big thing I see couples talk about, at least our age, is planning for the marriage and having a kid. You guys have knocked those things out of the park. What's next?
I don't know.
Running away. No, I
Go on a
don't.
cruise. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's why you died.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a cruise. They scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah, cruises scare me. I mean, we watch a lot of cruises.
I don't know if I'd be afraid of the ocean because I've never really experienced going on a cruise or even being on a boat long term. But I don't know if it's something that I would be cool with, and I don't want to wait. I don't want to be stuck for a week on a place that I haven't really experimented with to know if I'll even like it. And then if I don't like it, I don't have a choice now to get off of it.
Yeah.
You're stuck there for a few days.
Yeah.
No matter what.
At least if something goes wrong on a plane, you know.
So I think the obvious solution is that we just go on a boat to Lake Michigan and then we go fishing and see if we like it.
100%.
There you go.
Yeah. I do get very seasick, but we'll figure it out. Like, that's fine.
You'll get to experiment with those, they have bracelets for those.
Yeah, no, I've tried it all. Like, it's fine. I'll just pop a bunch of Dramamine. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the roller coaster crap. We'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure they'd have to, like, medically.
Oh, well, roller coasters would be a good way to know if you'd be.
Oh, yeah.
It's like on roller coasters.
Yeah.
Terrible roller coasters.
Yeah, you might not.
She was on the Whizzer, and she's like, oh.
Okay, I walk a little too fast and I get nauseous. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, maybe no to the cruise then.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've actually thought about that. Because it seems like it would be fun, but
seems like that way.
I don't want to see anything, but like the germs freak me out. Can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Trapped on a boat with a bunch of people and then some disease out. God forbid you're stuck in the water for months.
Yeah, well, that's already happened.
Yeah.
With that cruise ship when COVID happened.
God.
Awful.
Crazy.
So then, okay, no to the cruise.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The whole video is going to turn into like Josh trying to find out like what we were going to.
Sorry.
But I mean, sometimes like the that's how things are planned in conversation. Right?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. So like just saying, even just thinking about maybe do I like this? And then it's like, no, actually, I hate this. And I think that's probably the best way to come up with it than to try it and like be stuck there for like a few days. Then you have to argue about it the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Ruin your entire experience.
That's why I want to go skydiving because I feel like somebody's just going to force me out of a plane at that point. And it's like you have no choice.
I didn't know you wanted to go skydiving. Do you?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. Then I saw that video of Carl skydiving and him blacking out for that whole way down, and I'm like,
So what I've heard when that happens, I think it has to do with like how quickly the air's rushing that you literally can't breathe it in.
Yeah.
And so you pass out because you can't breathe.
Thank you. Yeah,
Dude, he like passed out. He was like attached to somebody, one of them, but then he said one time he was not attached. He didn't have a video of that one, but he's like, it was when he was in like military, you know, and he was like, there's one time I was attached. He goes, I blacked out the whole time. Yeah. He goes, I was supposed to like go over and reach somebody's hand, and I didn't. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was awake the whole time. He was not. Like he comes over with his eyes closed in the video. I'm like, at least or in his description. And I'm like, oh my god. So it's like stuff like that where I'm like, you got to like do or don't. You know what I mean? Like I would rather do than go out and do something where I have to anticipate it forever. Like I don't know, like a cruise. You're worried about like weeks, days, months of worry. I'm like, let's just get it over with. Like just rip the Band-Aid off. Let me skydive, bungee jump. I don't know. I got to do something.
You have something adrenaline related for your bucket list, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love roller coasters, and it sucks because like the older you get, roller coasters are pretty hard to like your head get. The older the coasters get too. You know, what I mean, you go on a coaster when we were in high school. You go to the same roller coaster now. It's like the roughest ride ever because it's old. And they make all these wood coasters. I'm like, great, but
yeah,
I know.
Well, and in general, I think like the parks unfortunately aren't doing well. Like I know, what is it? Six Flags was having issues financially, and I think they went bankrupt.
Something like that. I don't know. They got like sued when I worked there, and they got like fingerprint stuff, and that took a bunch of money. They were paying people like $11-12 on the hour for like a full-time job. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. They were not really understanding the people that were running the park, I think, and that's where they got a new president and everything. So I think they're doing okay now, but I don't know.
Last I heard, they were bought out or they merged with another park. Anyway, to getting off track with that.
Anyway.
What do you think you guys have learned about each other as you've gone through the phases? Because you've now you experienced dating, you experienced being fiancés, and now you're husband and wife. What is that like? What has been the lessons along the way, do you think?
Most of the time, I'm just overthinking everything. That's the biggest lesson I've learned is, like, I don't know. I think there's times where, like, I think Bree is, like, mad at me or something, but really she's just, like, I think that's, like, listening to each other. Like, I don't know. It's hard, and I'm not really good at it.
Really, I'm hungry with an attitude. And
yeah.
Like, sorry.
We've been stressed. We're trying to, like, find career-wise, like, where we can, branch out to, like, make enough money to, move forward, and it's just a lot. So, especially kids are expensive. So, there's that. But I've learned to just kind of, like, slow down more and kind of, like, look around. I don't do that often. I never did. Now I've been trying to do that more. So much so where I slow down to the point where Bree's like, "Can you pick up the pace a little bit?" And I'm, So that's where it's hard to balance that, but really just like enjoying it. I see all these videos, these people that like regret not spending more time with their spouse and all this stuff, and I'm like, or like these people. I'll give you another example. There's like these old couples. You see them like eating food at a McDonald's or something, and they're being all cute or whatever. And I see that, and I used to like long for it. I'm like, damn, like I want something like that. And now I'm like, damn, I have something like that. And it's like, it hits you different, and it makes me like kind of like try to stop and slow down and like be thankful for it more. But then there are arguments we get, of course, and like everybody. But a lot of that is usually also like your surroundings and the the environment you're in, and that we're in specifically is great, but also difficult,
right?
So. There's that, but yeah, I don't know. That's my side.
What do you got, Bree? What do you think? What do you think you've learned throughout your guys' relationship?
I don't know. Mostly like change is like, it is okay. I used to be like very like, no, and like was very set in my ways, and I'd be like, oh, well, it's got to do this way. I got to do things. And even like now, Jake was like, you don't have to do it that way. Like, sorry. And I was like, okay. Like, and I was like, oh, you're right. And I know like it just sounded like I even got like, it sounds weird, but like at my old job I'd be like very serious and like very like I try to do like things perfectly, and now at my new job like I was like, it's just whatever. Like it's just whatever. And like I like came home and I was like, oh, it's just like clothes. Like I know it's like stupid, but like it literally is like at my new job I'm like, oh, it's just like whatever. And like here's like it's okay. Like it's okay to not care 1,000% for everything. And like it is okay if you still have like effort, or if you still like have feelings for things, or things like your feelings do still matter. But like just because like something didn't go like the way you wanted, or it's not as good as it should have been, like it's still like it is okay. And like everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time or whatever. I don't know. Patience.
Which I also think you don't give yourself enough credit. You do a lot to make things pretty perfect for a lot of people. So that's one thing that I think I just want to remind you about, because you like constantly do things for everybody. Like it's like really your entire like thing. I don't know, you're so kind and you just care about people a lot. And that means a lot, because when I see the way that you treat like my family and my family and my friends and stuff, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you become a part of like I don't know, because we are a family now. It's just so weird. It's so different. I love it. And I'm just so thankful for you. Sorry for word scrambling. Anyway.
You say kind and caring. I think I'm overbearing. Like
no, you apologize for breathing, which like that's insane. Like you're too nice to everybody, and sorry.
Well, like even today, like Jake stopped to get me coffee, and I felt bad that we were going to run a few minutes late, and you said you didn't want anything. I was like, no, you have to get something. Munchkins, maybe, I was like, you have to get him something. We're showing up late, and like.
Yeah, and I'm like, he doesn't want anything, but then it doesn't matter.
Which also I learned. I'm so sorry. We could go back, but you're a water person, and you drink water. Can you explain?
Can you explain? Yeah. This is an intervention for you. You need to drink more soda. I'm just kidding.
No, I'd be happy to tell you about it.
Yeah, I told her like sometimes you'll have like a root beer with a meal once in a while, like in a blue moon, but not recently. Really, I haven't.
Sure. I mean, that's still a thing where if I go out with friends and they're all having whatever.
Well, if you're at Portillo's, you got to get something that's not water.
Sure, and sometimes I do. I think that the main reason why I drink water is just because I put on weight really, really easily.
Yep.
And if I start drinking, see, I really like eating, and so where I really splurge is when I eat.
Yeah.
So when we go to Portillo's, I get whatever I want. Like there's really no. Be careful, like if we go out,
be careful.
Yeah, like I'm gonna eat whatever I want, because if I'm splurging there. But with the drinks, like I just don't. I don't care enough about the drink. Like
Yeah.
every once in a while, I'll have like a Powerade or a Gatorade or
Yeah,
whatever, and that's it for me for the drinks, because I care way more about the food, and I can't splurge as much on food if I'm gonna have like soda too.
Right. Well, because it's so it's so much. You could have like 2 meals that equal to the sugar and the
Yeah. So yeah, the reason why is because then I get to eat pretty much what I want. Maybe if you could.
Hi.
There you
that.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
feel like I was really too loud. And so
No, you're not too loud. I control the volume in post regardless, so you're fine.
So you
You
can
could
make it
scream into the
quiet.
You could scream into the microphone. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, but Josh is wearing headphones and that's rude. If you want to take your headphones
Oh, he
off
has
for a
already
second,
he
and then
levels
we'll
me
go.
down in his headphones because he knows that I'm too loud.
Oh, so you're smart.
Yeah.
I just turn Jake off. And...
No, but I think so. Just to reiterate the things you guys had mentioned, because I think those are good talking points. The learning to not put 1,000% into everything, and that it doesn't have to be perfect, and the way that you dream for it to be for it to still be good. I think that's a good lesson right there. And then for you said that it was about the slowing down. It's about the not being at a million miles an hour, which is how your brain is wired.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really difficult to try to rewire that.
It is.
And because it's always been like that. What do you think do you think that you've passed that on? Do you think that seeing it from your daughter, because I see it.
Yeah.
That
ADHD just
that
in
wire
her, I
that
get
just
that.
like
yeah.
I think she's probably going to be more controlled than me.
You think so?
I have a feeling. I don't know. I think she's going to have the caution bone that Bree has in her body. But I think that's probably going to like guide her further than my 9,000 ideas a second insanity. I think it'll balance it out really well. I think she's going to do great things. I don't know what she's going to do, but she seems so far pretty much textbook Freudinger, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what plays out. She's doing a lot of things earlier than me or her ever did. So, and then a lot of kids have done, that were our age. So it'll be, I think there's just a lot of the kids now that are getting born. They're going to be pretty smart, I think.
I mean,
So.
even the way she already knows her way through a phone, knows her way through like just touch screens, and
Yeah, dude. Even knows her way through like conversations. She's like, she'll get you, dude. She like learned how to do knock knock jokes, and she still doesn't do them right. She'll look at you and she'll go knock knock, orange, and then she'll walk away, and then she'll come back in the room and go knock knock. Aren't you glad no banana? And then she'll run out of the half of the words, but all of the aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Like she's got the concept of like what a joke is, and she's like not even like she's 3 and a couple weeks. Like she's not.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think she's gonna be funny. I'm worried she's gonna be too funny.
no, I think that she's likely inherited that like energy from you, and then like you mentioned, I think that hopefully that's going to come with maturity, though, the side from you, where as she grows older, this is just my.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make my prediction now, and we'll see how it goes.
So I like this.
I think that she will, in like that energy, the spurt of energy that she has, and her creativity will likely be super high. And as an adult, she's gonna have to grow into more of your personality to balance it. So of like that, slow it down, quiet it down a little bit. That I think is where you guys you're going to see yourselves in her as she grows into adulthood. And I think that'll be the cool part to see what happens. But I believe she'll be super energetic for a little while until she probably hits her teens, and then she'll probably start to show more of your personality.
Yeah.
Kind of like a golden retriever. As they get older, they calm down.
Yeah,
Get it.
pretty
Yes,
much.
literally.
Yes,
She's literally-
exactly.
she's
Kind of like
doing
Darcy. She was like
Yeah.
a psychopath when she was a baby, and now she's pretty chill.
So I think that you'll probably see that happen into her teenage years. But it'll be really cool to see. And if she can learn to master that side of your brain, which is a bunch of ideas, because a lot of those ideas,
Yeah, if she could figure out what to do with all those ideas,
Yes.
that would be great. I would.
if she can like figure out a way to,
Yeah.
all she needs is people that she can. If she can figure out who's good at what,
Mhm.
she will be able to find ways to get her ideas down and into existence. She'll just find people who are super passionate in the way that we've kind of joined together was that you're super passionate about the production side of things and how things look and are presented, and I'm more so about the content, about like the talking, that part. I always say like I've learned a lot from watching you set things up, and I've kind of taken notes and all that, but it's still not it's still, if I had to do it by myself all the time, I wouldn't have lasted very long doing it, because it's just.
Well, you were telling me you're getting overwhelmed with the editing too. Just like the large file sizes alone are a lot to deal with.
The file sizes so like just the organization you kind of need to have to get that done in an adequate amount of time was overwhelming for me. So I think that if she can figure that out, of the ideas of, I have all these ideas, but I'm not good at this part, so I'm going to find somebody who is. Then they do that part, and then because having the brain that like of a bunch of ideas is a good thing. It's just find your niche and find people that like your ideas, and then they start working on the things that you don't want to work on. Yeah. Like I think that if she can figure that out, she will be so successful.
Well, plus we also she's going to have so many more tools available than like what we had, you know what I mean? Like growing up, like she has so many different things to create, to make things, to do business, to do whatever she wants to do. Like there's so many more things to start with. Could you imagine the crap we would have made if we had like all this AI shit? Oh my God, dude, I would have been going nuts. We would have been making stuff that would have been so funny. But like the whole idea is that she's going to be able to have all those tools if she wants to go to do business, to start a company, to be a comedian, to do whatever. Like there's going to be so many different options for her to do sports. Like there's more advanced medications, more tools, more things. Like there's so many different things that are going to be a leg up that is like, I really think like she's going to succeed. Like I think given how she's going to see those tools and say, oh, I think she'll take advantage of the tools that are at her disposal. At her disposal. I think she'll have a good time doing that. So I think you're like right on the money at that. She's very bright. It's very scary.
She's very, very smart.
I'm terrified of how expensive it's going to get.
Yeah, that's actually
to be totally
the
honest.
problem.
It's the worst.
What do you think? What are the challenges you think lay ahead for you guys with her?
Attitude? What do you mean? The challenges we're facing now? She's friggin' gosh. She starts biting people. She's 3 though, so I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. When kids are like younger, it's kind of like almost till they're like 3 or 4, when like they're still kind of like I say, like in factory settings, and they're still like learning, and like
she's still going through the baby acid trip in her brain,
at them for like still learning and like growing up. Like I mean, people do, but like you really can't, because like they don't know what to do. They really don't know like what's right or wrong. You still have to teach them, and then at like 4-ish, I would say, then they kind of like start knowing more. But right now she's just like taking everything in and learning, and she's just so already creative.
Oh my God.
She already it like will fire back at us like things, and like she's always shushing me, so she's always telling me to shut up.
She does this thing where she'll like we'll say something to her she doesn't want to hear. She'll go.
Yeah.
It's not a. It's a. She's like I'm saying this.
She's always making new friends and coming up with like new names that we don't even know. Like she knew the names, but she was like, this is like, I don't know. She used to call people.
She called something Concha yesterday, which I don't even think is a name, but she was like, this is Concha. It's like the cat has multiple names now.
She does seem to be quick with names.
Yeah. I think she's creative. I think she's got a brain of like characters in her head.
Fair.
Yeah.
That might be where it comes from.
I mean, I do voices and stuff with her all the time, but then it's like she's got all these imaginary friends that she's like watched like 2 episodes of Paw Patrol, and then her imaginary friend for life was Ryder.
Yeah, she's been around for like 6 months.
Been longer than that. Yeah. Like a year at this point now.
And do you guys do anything? I'm sure at some point you kind of like looked into this, and I'm just curious for new parents or people who are looking to have kids soon. You're in the ages for her that she's still not in school, but there's still things that she can learn. Where do you find things to teach her? How does that work for you guys?
Read to her. We like talk to her like normal. You know what I mean? Like we'll find different like study apps and stuff. She's got a game app on my phone that's actually all tracing letters and numbers and adding stuff like that. Blocks.
I know I'm like annoying, but I'm always like, oh, well, someone on Facebook. Like I have a bunch of like the Facebook mom, whatever. But like it is like the different kind of like learning styles that you want to do with, like you can do with her, and it's better. Like I was trying to do like hands-on learning and like the little different things that she can.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I sound terrible. She does like slime and Play-Doh and all that stuff. Like there's learning.
She's not just like on the apps. Like
I mean, like as far as like the schooling stuff goes,
but like the games she does play on the phones are just kind of like hidden like learning ones. Like she doesn't, you know what I mean? She's not playing like a bunch of little stuff. And
She's got one pool game she plays with grandma, but that's hyper limited to like
yeah,
20, 30 minutes.
She just beat you in cornhole the other day.
Yeah, she plays cornhole
Yeah,
as
she's
well.
really good at it. It's like
It seems like games are a great way to teach kids early on because it's fun, and then they get some information.
As long as it's not the mind-numbing ones, you know what I mean? Like these are quick, like turn matches, and they're like 2-minute games, and that's the idea. But
we're
like,
not getting her
have you
Call of
guys-
Duty yet, or
the Roblox and that crap.
Have you guys
Hate on
tried like? Does she like jigsaw puzzles?
she kind of she does like puzzles, yeah. But you know what I mean. You gotta still remember that she's in the toddler phase, so
Sure.
she could pick it up, she could throw it.
Yeah.
and if it's small enough, she'll put it in her mouth too.
Yeah, and like we are working on that. I mean, she does have a tiny like microphone from a little wrestler that she'll walk around.
Yeah.
Doesn't eat yet, but like it depends on like puzzles she will do, but then she gets like bored of it, and then she has like she likes her alphabet book and like her alphabet board. She'll do that.
She loves
Which is like a
drawing.
puzzle.
I saw that. Yeah, drawing was a big thing for her.
Painting.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to paint like every day.
Yeah. She draws, paints, or like something with stampers. We have like, these like daubers from like bingo, but we have like all the different colors. So there's something with one of those things every single day.
Yeah,
She makes
like
pictures.
A craft. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll like draw, like sometimes she'll draw like smiley faces. She'll draw an M and say M for Maddie. It's the only thing she knows how to draw, to write. But she knows the letters. If you tell her, can you draw an A? She'll put an attempt at a triangle, and she'll put the line through it. Tell her to do an O, she'll do an O. She'll do a P, an I. You should get stuff.
Let's say it's great for birthday presents because you should go, Maddie, go ahead, draw a picture. Oh, that's from Uncle Josh.
Yeah. She drew a dinosaur attacking a building one time, and it like
actually
looked like a
drew a
dinosaur attacking
yeah.
a building.
It was
Teeth,
really funny.
spine, everything, the whole thing.
I think there's
Crazy.
her ability to pick things up was why I'm asking you this question, is because she seems to have so much knowledge now. In just, let's say, a year ago, if we were to compare to a year ago, I mean, a year ago, she was just learning to talk. She was getting through the
Pretty much. I mean, she was
I
pretty.
feel like a year ago she had like a small repertoire of words. So, you know what I mean? Like a little pocketbook of words. But like now it's just like, dude.
full sentences.
Yeah,
she's
literally.
too
And like
much.
she'll swear.
What did she say?
And like, and it's like, no, you can't say that. And it's very interesting what she does know how to say. And like,
Yeah. Well, because my family, I mean, my family, we swear a lot. It's not even like at each other. It's like we just like are in like passing. Like, I'll be like, well, yeah, so I went to the car wash today. And like, it's just how we talk. And she like picked up because like my mom drops stuff. I drop stuff all the time. One of the like the one things that like for some reason every time me and my mom says, it's like, it. It's that's like the phrase.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it was like coded into my brain. You know what I mean? And one day she dropped something, and she's like 2.5, I think. And I was like, whoa.
How do you deal with that?
Well, generally speaking, I mean, me and Bree, we handle it a little differently. I don't know. Bree's more of like, don't say that.
yeah,
I'm
let's
just
not
like
say that. That's not a good word.
my thought is like, I just don't react to it, because if I react to it, then I feel like I'm giving more weight to the words, but then I also am like dying laughing. So most of the time I have to like conceal myself and walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Like, then I have to come back and be like, what did you say?
Yeah, parent mode.
Yeah.
I try and shut it down real fast so I could just like turn my head away and be like, oh my God, she's saying that already. And like laugh. Because like you don't want to laugh at her, because as soon as you laugh at her, you're done. Like I think
I have a little bit a different philosophy with it too. So that's where, for me and Bree, that's actually one of the first things that we had to like, as parents, we had to kind of like talk about, because I need to curb my language, right? Because
yes.
my kid's a parrot. That's really I'm not concerned that the swears are going to affect her. Right?
Sure.
I know she knows how I'm speaking, how we're all speaking. Like I'm more concerned that she's going to say to somebody else, and then, like that's where.
It'll cause issues.
So that's like, I don't know if there's a clip of Gary Vee from like years ago talking about it, and he was like, yeah, the teacher called me up and was like, well, your kid's swearing in class, and he was like, and I talked to the school. I'm like, so, I'm like, okay. Does that bother you? Like, does your kid speak at home like that? And I'm like, yeah. And like that, I'm like, oh shit, to be that bold is insane. But then for me, it's like, I don't know, like I just, if you give the weight to the words, you know what I mean? So if she knows in the future, obviously when she's a little older, she's going to be smart enough, and it's going to be like, hey, don't say that, because like, this is why you say this. We don't use that word for that way. You know, if she's opening a present, she's like, it was fucking awesome. I'm like, I'm not going to care too much. I'm going to probably find more joy in that moment, you know? So I'm not
There's
too,
a balance, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not too hung up on the language. I'm hung up on the intention. Sure. That's for me is if she knows the intention and uses it properly,
But
that
still,
but
she's
for
a
me.
little girl who's just
Right, and that's where I've had to concede
Where
where it's like, yeah, okay, no, you're right, and then and also just to make it easier on everybody around us, I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll stop dropping F-bombs here and there.
Here's the way that I would see it, and this is just my opinion. You guys could tell me that's not how it works at all. I completely agree. But I do think that for me as an adult, as I look at it, there are times and places for things. If I'm comfortable with people and I'm friends with them, I'm going to be a little bit more loose. I'm going to talk a little bit crazier and know that they're not going to take it personally or that I'm going to insult anybody. But if I'm with like people I just met, if I'm with parents of people, there's the turn your manners on type thing for me. And as long as she learns that she can be herself and still not need to do not be all crazy and all that, like you can still do that in certain places, right? But then when you go out and about and meet people, there are such things as manners, and it doesn't mean that you don't have to get yelled at for it. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I'm thinking like, would there be a balance where it's like, yes, you can do it here, but you can't do it there?
No, that's literally what I was going to say, and maybe I don't fully agree with the Gary Vee way of thinking. Like it's okay, like to do it at school, but like no, because
he wasn't saying it was okay. He was saying,
like, I understand correct context. Like I'm so proud of you, like good job, but also please don't say that around like grandma and grandpa at school. Like please do not like. There's little things she can say in or not. But
to clarify, I do think Gary said my kid's not going to be using it in school because they understand the which was the point of that. It's because the person was like, well, you say it around your kids, what are they going to say when they repeat it at school? And that's when he was like, yeah, I swear at home. And he's like, my kids don't swear at school. It's like that kind of like. So I there is 100%.
Yeah. So time and place where it's but kids don't know that when they're starting out. They just think that the way they act at home is how they ought to act. That's all they know is how to.
Right.
It's almost like you do when you get out into society. You do kind of have to learn to put filters on your personality. Where it's like, and so my thing is like, where's the middle line where it's like you can still be yourself,
right?
But you don't go cross that line,
I think with public people, I've been like trying to just I don't really care anymore. You know what I mean? Like but you've seen us in public. There's times like obviously Men's Warehouse and stuff like bigger stores like that. I get a little nervous, but then second the ice is broken, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm I'm just who I am. And I know that gets me in trouble sometimes, but that's just I take that as part of the risk. Personally, I just I wouldn't go into a job interview though and be like, yeah, I'm ready to start. Unless the interview looks at me and goes, "You ready to fucking start?" I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready to start. Like it's all depends on the context for me, but at the same time, if I'm in like a relatively, whether it's formal, informal, kind of in between, I'm generally I'll just be who I am, and then Bree's half the time like, shut up, But it is, I don't know. I think I hope that she doesn't take that, and I hope she uses that and it sharpens it against Bree. Like I hope that's what happens.
Well, I think that's just likely the natural move, the progression, because you can only go so far with that the energy before you start to have to control it. Because when you get into certain classes or you need to pay attention, like there's this like when you go to school, there's this like slow like moving of your personality into this like center, because you can't be super charged all the time when you're at school. They just naturally do that. And I think sometimes they do it too much. I think that school is really good at like making you
sit down, shut up, work. Yeah. And I think that sometimes that's bad too. So if there's like a middle ground where she has that energy and can use that energy in certain situations, but then, quiet down a little bit when she's in a work environment. Then I think, that's a good healthy balance. But school, sometimes I think like school made me very, very quiet, like a very reserved, very to myself person, unless I was with my friends. Yeah. Right. But then you were like the loudest mother there, which was great because like you were really funny. So like it worked out, But then if like I had just met people, I wouldn't say a word. Quietest person in the room. And so then that's just what I think, not just society, but home life of just this closing of no, don't be loud, don't be loud, don't be loud. Yeah. It gets to a point where it's like, okay, I can because I can't be at a normal volume anywhere else but this one environment, I'm gonna be super loud when I'm here. And it created an imbalance that I think like wasn't necessarily the best for me. That makes sense. So hopefully that's something that she can, because she has both of you guys as reference. I think that's a pretty cool thing that you guys have that difference in personality, because she can reference the two of you. Yeah. And then over time learn that, okay, maybe I'm not the loudest person in the room every time. Maybe I quiet down a little bit so that other people can talk. Well, because I'm around, so she can't be the loudest person. Actually, I'm gonna make it impossible. Well, do you think that she's taught you anything about yourself? Oh yeah.
What is that?
You got another hour?
Well, a couple points, key points.
I would say like number one is I thought I understood what like unconditional familial love was. I thought I understood it, and I did not. And now I do. So that, and I will not really clarify because that is pretty much explains itself. Like there's you like see your own face in your kid, regardless if she happens to look exactly like I did when I was a kid. It helps, but
copies.
Even still, like I see Bree in her too. Like, and it all depends on how she's moving and what she's emoting and what she like. You see yourself in your kid, and like you start to realize. Like I think I sent you a quote. I had read something where somebody said the best way a father can relive their life and relive their dreams, because this was about a dad who had felt like he had totally like fucked up, right, and like lost his ability to go with his stuff. The best way to relive your life is to look at your children. And that like totally blew my mind, because there's moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, I'm tired, or I don't want to do this, I got to work on this, or I do this. And then I think to myself, like, if I was 3 years old, I had my first memory when I was 3. I told you about this.
Yeah.
I told you about this. I remember how people seemingly in that moment felt and reacted, and like it makes it every time like that I lose my cool or that we get in an argument or like something, like it makes me like really upset, because it's like, damn, like I know there's a poor part of her that's absorbing it, but also it's like she's so capable of like showing you in that moment that like regardless of what's going on, like there's someone there that loves you and that like needs you. It kind of like almost like innately fixes a part of you. Not permanently. I mean, I'm still working on stuff. I still get mad. I still, it's something that you learn over time. Like as I get older, I'm going to run out of time to like savor the moments like that of like looking at her and realizing, oh damn, like everything's there.
I think there's a, and Bree, I'll ask you next, but I do think that there's an important part there that I've seen parents talk about, where for some reason I like to hurt my own feelings and watch parents say goodbye to their kids.
Oh, dude, I watch Relative Weddings.
When they go off to college.
Oh no!
And like they just like fall apart, and so I think to myself, like there's those moments where you're talking about just now about seeing Maddie and still being a kid and kind of reliving that childhood, but then seeing them become adults and then they leave, like that part too.
I'm really scared of it.
Yeah.
It's like my biggest fear. I talked about it to Bree the other day. I was like, damn, like we're not going to see her grow old. Like we're going to be dead by then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that
You won't get to follow her the whole way.
It kind of like breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I saw these videos of these people doing those filters where they like age up their kids to see what they look like. And it's like, I can't even bring my heart to do it, because I don't want to see her as an old lady, because it's going to make me really sad that I'm not going to be able to like be there for her in that part of her life. I know that sounds so stupid, because it's like,
that doesn't sound stupid at all. I think
100 years away, you know, but
it's perfectly reasonable that as parents, and that it shows that you guys are loving parents, that even the thought of seeing her get older or thinking about having to see her get older is just heart-wrenching, I would
it
imagine.
rips me apart. I'm laughing out of nervousness, but you know.
Well, Bree, what do you? Sorry to catch you in there.
They're both over here.
What do you think? What do you think Maddie has taught you about yourself?
Well, I don't know. Honestly, it's just like that everything doesn't have to be like perfect, and like it is okay to like do little things and make little mistakes, because like she, no matter what, she just gets so excited over like even it's like the little things. Like I burn cookies all the time, but she gets so excited about them, and like it doesn't matter. Like she just gets so happy that like little things that I do for her, and like that just kind of like makes my day. I don't know, like that's like the little things really don't like. I guess they don't really like matter as much, and I'm always like panicking about them, and like I don't know, like even like we just said, like I'm always panicking that I might not be there when she's older, but like I do have the time now that I can like focus on. So
the little I think that was a really good point, Bree. The living in the little moments. Everybody talks about that's a lot of times what we miss, is that you're so focused on like planning the whole day out, planning the week out, that when you do get to those little moments, you're just thinking about the next thing that you got to get done. And so it's like, we got to get this thing done so we can go to this thing. And then kids do this really good job of, I think this is why kids are important to couples too, is because it teaches perspective of like, where to kids, all that matters is that moment. And really, they're the happiest because of that. Because as adults, we have to start thinking about the next thing and what's happening next week and how are we going to do this thing? How are we going to pay for this? And so it just becomes this onslaught of thinking about the future and not living in the present. And then you don't get to have those happy moments where the kids like remind you it's about those moments. Yeah. Those little moments you do get. Take them all in, like who cares if we're 10 minutes late somewhere? Like we had fun in this event and we went over a little bit, but it was worth it because that time that you were a little bit late, who knows it, and were you going to get that time again later in that day? Probably not. So I think that was a very good point I think it is about the little lessons, about the little moments that you have together. What do you guys hope to accomplish in this marriage together?
Not kill Jake.
Okay.
Not die.
By her hand. Fair.
No, I don't know. I just feel like we both no matter what, you're still growing, and like we still have a lot of growing to do. Like I know this is gonna sound like not bad, but like we still like separately, and like no matter what, just because we are like married, everyone's like, oh, as a couple, like I get that, like, and we are gonna grow like as a couple, and we have been growing as a couple for like years. I would say, but like I do think that like we are just like still slowly growing as like people, and like it does like, make us feel like I know it sounds like that, but I'm like as my own person, and as a mom, I'm still like growing and like changing things. So it does make me feel like better knowing that I like now I for sure have someone that they have to like legally sign something to like, hey,
I have to I think it's really funny because out of all of the people that I like thought would have been there to like wed us, it ends up being this guy. And
which I'm honored by the way.
Yeah. I mean, mine would be just to like grow the happiest, healthiest child, and while at the same time growing our bond closer to each other. There's a lot of stuff that we do that's like together, but there's also some things that like we don't really like have time to do that I know we'd like to do. So I think for my side of it, I would like to like explore more stuff together, even though we do a lot of stuff together. Like I would like to do more things together, like stupid things like rafting and skydiving. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you're a very active person.
I'm not though. Like that's the thing is like I want, even if it's like going to more movie theaters or going to like traveling to different restaurants. I don't know. Like I want to have something there, but like for us, like as a couple, I think just raising the best family we can raise and just finding a way to like give some of the joy that we've received to like other people just through the way that we work, through what we do. Like eventually I want to be able to do stuff with Bree, like with us, like with me, like doing stuff for other people, going and doing things for people, or at least financially supporting people because of something that we've done on our side of things. Like, I don't know, there's just more that I want to do in the world, but I think it starts with like figuring out how we can just be the best people for other people around us and for our daughter. I think that's like really the core of where it all starts.
I do think before we let you guys go, you brought up something, Bree, that I think that is also important, and it ties into what you're talking about with wanting to do other things together. I think that there are certain things, this is my belief, and I may be wrong, and I haven't experienced it, so maybe you guys can speak to it. A lot of times I hear about, I used to think relationships were about doing everything together, being together all the time, and that's what a healthy relationship is. And I've learned that that's not realistic. That doing things together all the time doesn't allow you to be the individuals that you still are, right? Which you're still going to have things that you want to do that doesn't involve Jake, and that you want to do on your own, and that's fun for you, and maybe not fun for Jake, and that's okay. Just like there are things that Jake has that are more fun and that not so fun for you, and so then you just do them separately, right? And that's okay. But then there are things you guys do enjoy together, and I think that that's what marriage or a relationship together is. It's just this, you guys kind of find this middle ground where you guys do enjoy things together, and you do those things, and the collective, you guys being able to be yourselves while also being able to do things you enjoy, is that balance of marriage and being in long-term relationships. So I think that that's, I don't know, I'd like to think that that's how realistically it makes more sense.
Yeah, it seems you pretty. Yeah, I'd say so.
But yeah, maybe something that we can talk about later down the road and see how it goes.
Most
But-
definitely.
Any final messages before we check out?
Fuck John Cena.
Man,
He
I'm
was
obsessed.
Sorry.
he
Do any more promo, but I just
he was
Upset. You know what? Just
Say that
because
on
of
the
that, I
internet.
DM'd him this morning and told him that I'm happy he turned heel.
idiot.
I said, "What a good time." I literally said, "Wow, what a way to go out."
Did you imagine he responds?
Hey,
Contact him
hopefully he
tomorrow.
does, man. I don't know. He followed me this morning. We never talked about that.
Yeah.
John Cena followed me this morning. He follows everybody, but not really. But yeah, kind of. So I don't think we're gonna DM back. If we
We'll
do, watch. I'm gonna do that, and then the next clip will be a preview of when he's on the podcast.
Seeds you don't plant
Gotta
don't have a
manifest it.
chance of growing.
Yeah, manifest him being on the podcast.
That's why I have no weed plants yet.
Well, when he's present, you're probably gonna have to be there, right?
Yeah.
If we ever get him.
I think I'll be.
If we get
I-
John
I'd be
Cena as
so
president,
excited.
I will fly down to Washington D.C. to be at the inauguration. I would do that.
Well, then maybe that's a seed we can plant today.
Yeah.
We'll see what
that'd be
happens.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we're gonna have you guys on every now and again. Hopefully, we can do this more often. And I know
Yeah.
that I appreciate you guys taking the time because you guys have Maddie to think about and have to
Yeah.
get home to. So
Yeah, she's with Grandpa today having I don't know what she's doing. She's probably giving them a hard time. Like she always does. It's fun.
We just promised her a whole ice cream date.
Yeah.
for-
Yeah.
Well, good.
It did make her feel better.
We were supposed to go last night. First thing out of her mouth this morning when she woke up, she looked me in the face and went, "We didn't go to the ice cream store."
they'll remember.
Not even good morning. Not
Yeah.
even. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Good morning," and she went, "We forgot to go to the ice cream store." Good morning.
We'll make sure you guys go today and spend some time. Like you guys, some things to think about on the way
Definitely,
home
man.
about those little moments. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, for sure.
First-